So here is your first look at a real and fake pair of the Nike Air Jordan 4 Lightning Tour Yellow. Can you tell the difference between the two? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I have another comparison video for you between two pairs of the Nike Air Jordan 4 in the Lightning Tour Yellow colorway. So I have a retail pair here on my right, which I actually purchased directly from ProDirect. I believe it was ProDirect. Can't remember, but got it for retail on the restock. I believe it was ProDirect Soccer. I'll just be doing a comparison to let you know what to look for if you're trying to purchase a retail pair. But before we get into the video, I'd like to give a big shout out to LegitMark. So if you've watched my videos before, I've worked with LegitMark a number of times, and for me, they're the safest and most reliable place to get your sneakers authenticated. So if they are a close pair and you don't know how to legit check them, do check out LegitMark because they are here to help you. So there's a link in the description if you want to check them out. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is actual boxes themselves, and if I give you an overview of the two box lids, we can see differences straight away. So if you look at the real and the fake one here, you can see that the real one is a more crispy yellow, whereas the fake one almost has like a green dull tint to it. So you can see there are color differences between the two, and also you can see differences between the actual logo on top. So the Flight logo, which is in the white text, is much more clear and visible on the retail pair compared to the fake one. Also, the Jordan Jump logo on the top is much larger on the real one compared to the fake one. And if we spin the boxes around to the side, take a closer look at the labels, we can see obviously the retail one comes with the store sticker on the side, but if you look at the labels themselves, you can see differences here once again. Obviously the fake one has basis off a US label, so you can see the US price in dollars, whereas on the retail one, it's based off a UK label, so it doesn't have this side price. So as you can see, they are different sizes. The retail one is a UK 8.5 and the fake one is a UK 9. I actually think they've got my order wrong because I think I actually ordered a UK 9 for the retail one. But if you check the label differences, there are some things to note. So the font sizes can be noted as different. If you look at the difference in country sizes from UK to European, you can see that the text font size is slightly different. But nobody really wants me to talk about the boxes for the entire video, so we'll open it up and take a closer look at the shoes. So open up the retail one here, and then I'll open up the fake one. So the noticeable difference here is the fake one has the paper covering the shoes completely, whereas the retail one has it half and half. I don't know if this varies between retail pairs, but it's just something to note when you're opening up a dead stock pair, unless somebody has already messed around with the shoe. So open up the retail one. So here is your first look at a real and fake pair of the Nike Air Jordan 4 Lightning Tour Yellow. Can you tell the difference between the two? So the first difference we're going to take a look at is the actual material itself. So if I give you a close-up of this, it might be quite hard to see, but there is a slight difference in the color of the shoes. So from close-up in studio lighting, the retail one is a much darker and vibrant yellow compared to the fake. The fake is actually a much paler yellow than the retail one. However, this is actually quite hard to see in certain lightings, but in studio lightings you can see this quite clearly, so do look out for the color of the shoe itself. When looking directly down from above, and I'll give you a close-up of this, you can see that the actual shape of the shoe is very different from retail to fake. You can see the fake one is much wider and chunkier than the retail one, which is actually quite slim, which I wasn't expecting because Jordan 4s are quite a chunky silhouette and normally don't look very good on my feet. A strange difference to note is if you take out the cardboard shoe tree from the retail one, and if I take it out of the fake one's covered in a shoe paper for some reason. Not sure why they've done this, but that is a difference to note. And if we take a closer look at the cardboard itself, we can see differences here once again. The retail one is actually a much thinner cardboard, much more flexible than the fake. In terms of the logos on top, they're much more indented on the fake pair compared to the retail one. If you take a look at the bottom where it says die cut sock liner, you can see that this is different from retail to fake. On the fake one, it does say this text, whereas on the retail one, it says molded sock liner. So do look out for these differences if you're trying to legit check them. The next obvious difference to note straight above is the toe box area, and this is quite a common flaw on most fakes of Jordan 4s, but they can't quite get the shape of the toe box correct. So as you can see from above here, the retail one curves perfectly around the toe box area and is much more slimline compared to the fake one, which sticks out quite a lot more and has that almost blunt edge to the toe box area. You can also see clearly on the left side here the color difference between the retail and the fake. Spinning the shoe around to the back and taking a look at the Jordan logo on the heel, we can see differences here. So you can see that it's positioned slightly different. I know these are different sizes, but the position on the Jordan logo on the back stays pretty consistent for this colorway. One worrying sign is the bottom of the shoe is exactly identical. There is no difference whatsoever. The colors they've used are exactly the same. The logo size and printing is exactly the same, so they've done a really good job at this. So I wouldn't be looking at the soles too much if you're trying to legit check. The next tip I'm going to give you for legit checking this pair is actually if you have a pair in hand. So the material on top feels very different indeed. What I would say is if you're rubbing your thumb across the toe box area, it sticks a lot more on the retail pair, whereas on the fake one is a lot more smooth, and you can just feel the quality difference between the two pairs. I know this is really hard to tell via the camera, but there is a clear difference in person. The next difference to note, it actually occurs at the back of the shoe, and this is a very minuscule difference. So if your pairs are really close, do look out for this. So on this panel at the back here, if you look at the stitching going around the outer side, and I'll give you a close-up of this, you can see that the gap between the outer edge of the material and the stitching is much larger on the retail one compared to the fake. As you can see on the fake one, the stitching is practically right on the edge of the material itself. I know this difference is very minuscule, but if they are this close and you can't tell the difference, these are the details you're going to have to check if you want to know your pair is legit. When looking at the outer side here, and you can see that toe box guard that goes all the way around to the side, you can see where it cuts down and meets the sole. It's a much thinner cut material here, whereas comparing this to the fake, you can see that gap there from the grey part of the sole to the cut of the material is much larger compared to the retail one. Spinning the shoe around to the inside and we take a look at that almost mesh-like cage material, we can see differences here. On the retail one, you can see here that this cage mesh material is completely flush with the material below, whereas if I show you the fake one here, you can see that it's almost a loose cage on the inner side, kind of like extra long and loose material. So there are slight differences between the retail and fake. So as you can tell from this video, the differences are very, very minor. Probably the major ones to look for are the color differences and extra material around the shoe. But other than that, these are very close indeed, and if you didn't have a legit pair in hand, this would be very difficult. So if you're struggling to tell the difference between a retail and a fake pair, do check out LegitMark. There will be a link in the description, and I really hope you're enjoying these videos, and I hope they're helping you legit check your shoes at home. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.